Hello friends, welcome to today's virtual family program from the Mooresville Public Library. My name is Miss Emily and I'm happy you're here. Have you ever been in the mood for something sweet? You wanted a little dessert of some kind, but you didn't want to make like a whole cake or a whole batch of cookies. Well, I've got a solution for you. Today we're going to be making mug cakes. These are a single serving, so they're just one person made in a mug, and today we're going to be making chocolate ones with filling. So before you get started, make sure that you wash your hands. I've done that, but I'm going to have some hand sanitizer just to be extra clean. So now let's gather all of the ingredients that you need. You'll need some flour, you'll need some sugar, you'll need a little bit of baking powder and cocoa powder, so this is the unsweetened cocoa powder, and just a tiny bit of salt. Those are all of your dry ingredients, and if you stop by the library to get your packet, we'll have a single serving of everything you need for the dry ingredients as part of your packet. What you won't have are the wet ingredients. So that includes some cooking oil, some milk of some kind that I just brought a little bit from home, and then a filling. So we're going to make chocolate mug cakes with a little bit of a filling in the middle. So that can be something like peanut butter or any other kind of nut butter, something like a chocolate hazelnut spread like Nutella. It can be fruity like a jam. I've got a nice strawberry rhubarb jam right here. That sounds good. You could use chocolate chips. You can use like a mini fun size candy bar like this little Milky Way bar, tiny bit. You could do caramel sauce, butterscotch sauce, anything like that. Something that sounds good with your chocolate. And of course you will need a mug, a regular ceramic mug. This is actually a bigger one than normal, but it has Pete the cat on it, so I had to use this one today. But even a slightly smaller mug will work for this. And you'll need some measuring spoons, so 1 tablespoon and 1/4 of a teaspoon. Those are the two that you'll need. You'll need something to stir with. I like to use a fork because the tines work kind of like a whisk, and my whisk at home is too big for my mug, so a fork works really well for this. So let's get started measuring out our ingredients. So we're going to start with the dry ingredients here. And like I said, if you come to the library, you'll get one already done that you can just dump into your mug and stir around so it's all mixed together. But if you want to make more after that, this is what you'll do. So we'll start with our flour. We need 2 tablespoons. So here is my tablespoon. I'm going to get 1 tablespoon and kind of make sure that it doesn't have to be exact, but that the flour is not like heaping over the tablespoon. It's pretty flat on top, and there isn't like a big hole on one side or the other, that it's pretty full but not overflowing. So there's 1. There's 2. So 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm going to have 1 tablespoon of my cocoa powder. It's going to be very chocolatey. So the same thing with this. Cocoa powder is a lot more finely ground than the flour, so it's a little bit more powdery. So make sure to get all of it out of your spoon. So I'm finished with that. You're going to have 1 tablespoon of sugar, and you can kind of adjust this to your taste if you like. So it can be a little bit less or a little bit more. I wouldn't go too much more because I think 1 tablespoon is just right. So I'm going to measure out 1 tablespoon of sugar. There we go. Flatten that out. Very good. And that's all we need the tablespoon for our dry ingredients. I'm going to put it over here with our wet ingredients. Then we need baking powder. And make sure you have baking powder and not baking soda. Those are two different ingredients, and today we need powder. So I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to have 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. And a lot of times they have this nice little lip on the edge, so you can kind of scrape your spoon against it so you get a nice flat measuring amount. So I'm going to put that in, close that up. And you just need a pinch of salt. So I'm just going to measure a little bit into my hand, and that really is about a pinch all by itself. A pinch is, I think, technically anything smaller than 1/8 of a teaspoon, but really you just take a pinch and put it in there. If you just have a salt shaker that you use like at the table maybe, so just do 3 or 4 shakes of a salt shaker. So that's all of our dry ingredients, and you can kind of see it in there. They're all kind of clumped. So we want to stir them all together so that they are all equally distributed. So I'm going to stir really well so that the brown cocoa powder and the flour and all the other things look pretty much the same, so that it's all one mixture instead of being clumped together. Okay, so we've got all of our dry ingredients. So for our wet ingredients, what you'll need is 1 tablespoon of oil and 2 tablespoons of milk. And this can be any kind of milk. If you have regular cow's milk, that's fine. If you use almond milk or oat milk or anything like that, this is oat milk, soy milk, that'll all work. So here's 1 tablespoon of oil. There it goes. Here's 2 tablespoons of milk. 1, 2. Put that aside. And now you'll use your fork to mix it all together so that it is well mixed. All of the dry ingredients are mixed in with all of the wet ingredients. There aren't any clumps or lumps. You just want it to be all mixed together. Make sure you get all of the corners, all of the edges, because that powdered stuff can kind of hide in little pockets, and you just want to make sure that it is all wet. And it'll look kind of like that consistency. See on the inside, and it looks like there's very little in there, right? And what will happen is that the baking powder will react with the heat, and it will blow up. It'll make bubbles, and so the amount of batter that's in there will expand and create kind of a light and fluffy cake texture. So now we're ready for our filling. So whatever you decide to use, whether that's peanut butter or other nut butter, some kind of chocolate like chocolate chips or a little chocolate candy, or jam. I think I'm going to use jam today. And it's important to actually use this because this partly gives your cake a little bit more moisture. So you probably could microwave it just the way it is, but it will be a little bit dry if you do that. So I think the filling is really helpful. So I've got a clean spoon. I'm gonna put just a spoonful. You know, I'm not even measuring. Just a good dollop, and put it right in the middle. And you can try to kind of push it down into your batter a little bit, but you don't have to be too precious about it. I just stuck it right in there, and it's sitting kind of on top. And when your all of the magic baking science happens and your batter will puff up. It'll kind of go around your filling. So it'll end up being in the middle. All right. So you are now ready to bake your cake. And we're going to bake it in a microwave. And you're just going to put it on high for 1 minute. And there you go. You've got a maybe not beautiful. It's not the prettiest cake, but it is really tasty. So make sure that you don't start eating it straight out of the microwave. It'll be really hot, especially your filling, especially if you use something like jam. So let it sit for at least a minute or two and just blow on it. Be very careful. So I'm going to take a bite. You can see that the texture is very much like a chocolate cake that you would make in a big pan, but it's just one serving, one little piece of cake for you. Cool it off. So tasty. So that's it. It doesn't take a lot of time. There's not a lot of ingredients. You can also customize it to your taste, what you like for your filling, and it's very delicious. So like I said, if you stop by the library this week, you can get your own packet. That'll include the instruction sheet as well as one serving of all of the dry ingredients that you need. You'll have to provide the wet ingredients and your filling on your own, but it'll be an easy way to get started. As always, I've got some book suggestions for you. So if you enjoyed making your own dessert, I will suggest Super Simple Desserts. Easy, no-bake recipes for kids. So these are great desserts that you can make. Most of these, I think, have more than one serving, so you can share with your family. But things like cheesecake tarts, very tasty, peanutty butter bites, banana split pie. So those are all tasty desserts that you can make, and bonus, you don't have to cook anything. So if you enjoyed cooking out of a mug, I found another book that might be interesting. It's called Cooking in a Can. These are Campfire recipes for kids by Katherine L. White. And it's a really interesting book about how to do cooking with just a campfire. So if you are going camping, maybe when the weather gets a little bit better, more warm, then this would be a good one to do. So there's instructions on how to cook all kinds of things using tin cans, paper bags even, all kinds of interesting cooking in leaves and in other foods. So really cool way to think about cooking when you're outdoors. Another book that you might enjoy is called All in Just One Cookie. And this is by Susan E. Goodman and illustrated by Timothy Bush. And it talks about all the different foods that go into making cookies. So things like milk and wheat and eggs and cocoa for the chocolate. And it's a really interesting book that traces all of those ingredients and where they come from. Last but not least, if you are interested in taking your dessert cooking to the next level, there's another great book called Teens Cook Dessert. This is by Megan and Jill Carle with Judi Carle, and this is by the same authors of the last cookbook that I suggested for you, which was just Teens Cook. This is Teens Cook Dessert. So lots of delicious, delicious foods. and a little bit more advanced cooking techniques. So it's one that's good to do as a family all together, or if you're an older kid, if you're a teen or an almost teen, this might be fun to kind of expand your cooking skills. I hope you enjoyed our program today. I hope you got to make your own mug cake and have something delicious to eat. Just one serving of something sweet. And I would love to hear what kinds of mix-ins and fillings that you decided to make with your chocolate mug cake. Thanks for joining me today.